Welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, I have a lot of exciting things to share with you. We're gonna head out on the balcony and show you everything that I've got growing so far. We're gonna be doing some harvesting of our radishes that we've had growing, and we're gonna be planting out all of our seedlings that have been hardening off on the balcony. I'm really excited to get the garden planted out and growing. I'm also going to be showing you some methods that I've been trying out to prevent birds from eating my plants. I've had a lot of issues with birds swooping in and munching the seedlings as soon as they pop up out of the ground, which has been extremely frustrating. So I also want to hear from you if you have any suggestions, if you've had the same problem, what works for you, because I've tried quite a few things and nothing seems to prevent it fully. So just let me know if you've had any issues with that and what you do to prevent it. So I'm going to take you out on the balcony now and we're going to harvest some radishes. This variety of radish is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and it's supposed to be ready for harvest in just 18 days. And I've had these radishes growing on the balcony for a little over 30 days now, and they just aren't bulbing up the way that I thought they would. I'm thinking that they don't get enough sun in the spot that they're in. We have an awning that hangs over the porch and it blocks the sunlight that the front half of the porch gets in the first half of the day. So I'm thinking that's what caused them to not grow the way that they should. And a lot of the stuff on the balcony is trial and error because I know it's not the ideal growing conditions. So I'm just happy with any harvest that I can get. Once I get all these radishes harvested, I'm going to take them inside and trim them up and get them all nice and clean. And we're going to be making some lunch with our harvest today. And took a little break and used our radish harvest to make a delicious lunch for myself. I made a tasty stir fry with the greens and the small radishes that we harvested. The goal with my balcony garden is to show that even if you have a constrained space to work in, you can still grow delicious and healthy vegetables for yourself or your family. And I went ahead and utilized our small harvest. I used the greens and the radishes themselves in the stir fry. The greens, I read, have like a fuzzy mouthfeel, which I don't think I would enjoy, so I went ahead and made a stir fry with them because when you cook them down, the fuzzy feeling goes away. So I'm gonna take a little break and enjoy my lunch, and then I will get back out on the balcony and get back to work. I've had my seedlings out on the balcony hardening off for about 2 weeks now, I believe. They've just been living in these little trays and I've been bottom watering them when they need it. And they are definitely ready to get transferred into some bigger containers. We did have a hailstorm come through and smash a few of our plants, including my micro dwarf cherry tomato, but it is regrowing even though it was pretty much destroyed. But thankfully it has some new leaves and hopefully it returns to its original size. Before we start planting out our seedlings, I'm just filling up my grow bags to the top with some Miracle-Gro. I'm going to start off by planting my dwarf tomato. This is a Grishkova variety. It is the only one that wasn't damaged in the hailstorm, so I started some new seedlings for a cherry tomato in the house, and I will be planting that out in a few weeks when it's ready. This plant is super healthy, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. I've never grown a dwarf tomato before, but it seems like it is a happy and healthy plant so far. I'm just removing the bottom leaves and burying it really deep. Tomatoes like to be buried deep so they can form more roots off of their stem. They are super resilient, and I'm thankful for that because they go through a lot up here on the balcony. I will also be planting sweet alyssum in every single one of my containers with my veggies. These attract pollinators, and they also smell really wonderful. And I think they will be a good understory plant for these containers. Now I am planting my peppers. I have a jalapeno, a Santa Fe Grande, and a sweet red cherry. We eat a lot of peppers, so I'm really excited to be growing some this year. I have some more varieties growing indoors that I'll be planting out in the next couple weeks. And I can't wait to share all of the things that we're going to be doing with our pepper harvest this year. Next up, we have our muncher cucumber. This is the first cucumber that I've ever attempted to grow. I purchased a trellis that I'm going to be putting in the pot and hoping that it chooses to grow up the trellis. This plant also got a bit of hail damage in the storm, but it's coming back in full force. As you can see, it has a ton of new growth coming off of it, and I am very excited to be eating cucumbers all summer and making lots of pickles too. These are our sweet red cherry peppers, and they are smaller peppers, so I'm going to be putting them together as a pair in this over-the-rail planter. They are very small, sweet peppers, and I think they'll be great in salads or just for snacking. And I'm also going to be adding some alyssum to this container as well. Now that I have everything planted out, it's time to water it all in. I want to give it a nice good drink. And I'm loving how the alyssum looks with my plants. It's so pretty, and it also serves a purpose in the garden, which I think is wonderful. And now that I'm getting everything watered in, it's time to talk about the methods that I've been implementing for pest prevention, mainly bird prevention. At this point, I feel that some of the birds near our apartment have a personal issue or vendetta against me. I have had plants just really taking a beating from these birds. They will pull seedlings directly out of the dirt and just leave them, or they will just take bites out of the leaves and spit them out. And it is very frustrating because I get so excited to see things coming up out of the dirt and then very disappointed to come back later and see that there is just a little nub left. So I have been trying everything that I can to prevent this. I've tried hanging up an old CD. Apparently the flashing reflection is supposed to scare them away. I've also tried flash tape from the hardware store. That seemed to work to keep them away from the seedlings, but not much else. My last resort in bird prevention is going to be an essential oil spray, so let's head inside and make that. We are back inside, and I'm going to show you the solution that I'm going to make to spray on all of my plants. I read online that birds really don't like the smell of peppermint and lemon, so I bought some peppermint and lemon essential oil. Blue's here. I bought some essential oils, and I'm gonna mix these with white vinegar and water, and then we're gonna spray these on our plants and hope that it deters the birds from eating the sprouts every time they come up out of the soil. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a half a cup of vinegar to the water. And then we're gonna add 14 drops of each oil to the water and the vinegar. Okay. It smells really good to me, but hopefully the birds hate it because I'm tired of the birds eating my plants. And I'm gonna transfer this to a spray bottle. Perfect. Let's head back out to the balcony and spray this on our plants. Now that I have all of my chores done for the day, I'm going to take you through the entire balcony garden and show you what we have growing. So over here we have our herbs, we have some cilantro, and we have pineapple mint growing. Pineapple mint is one of my favorite plants. It smells so good and it's so pretty. I love the variegation on the leaves. In this container we have golden beets growing. Right now they're just tiny little sprouts, but eventually we will have some big tall beet greens, and I can't wait to try the golden beetroot. I think it'll be delicious. I had some extra sweet alyssum, so I just decided to pop that up. Here we have our rosemary. This variety is called barbecue. In my opinion, this is an essential herb to have growing in your garden. Absolutely love rosemary. Here we have our Yukon Gold potato, our frog friend, and a volunteer tomato. It's growing great. Dwarf sweet alyssum is sprouting. This is a Baker Creek heirloom seeds variety. And we have our sweet peas. This variety is Sugar Bond Snap. And they're doing wonderfully. I already have some little flowers on there and a tiny little pea. I absolutely love peas and I can't wait to eat them. Here we have our red Pontiac potato. I love the leaves on this plant. They are so beautiful. It's almost pretty enough to just have in your house. I just love how these look, and it's so lush. Next to our potatoes, we have some sage growing. And on the railing, I have my petunias. This variety is called Cappuccino, and I grow these because they are one of my Oma's favorite flowers, and seeing them makes me think of her. And I also just really like the different varieties of petunias that there are, and I think they're so beautiful. In my other over-the-rail planter, I have my coleus. This variety is called Trusty Rusty, and I love the variation in the leaves and the color. I think they go really well with my petunias. And the underside is really pretty as well. Looks like it's hand painted. And next to our coleus is our very sad nasturtium bed. I have resown some new seeds and hope that they pop up and the birds don't eat them. Crossing my fingers. And then we have our green beans in our other planter. They're coming up nicely. This variety is called Contender, and they are also from Baker Creek heirloom seeds. And here I have my micro dwarf tomato and the peppers that we planted today, our cucumber and our other tomato, and some basil that I planted a while back. And the empty container is for a future cherry tomato that I'll be planting out. I am so happy with how everything's going so far, and it's only just the beginning of our gardening season. I know that there will be some changes and I will probably have some failures along the way, but right now I feel like I'm utilizing the space the best that I can, and I'm hoping for a wonderful gardening season and I'm excited to show you all of the things that I will have growing this year. This truly brings me a lot of joy, and I'm so happy to share it with you guys. I want to thank you for watching my channel and checking out this video. I will be putting up monthly garden updates and tours to take you around and show you how everything grows and changes. And I will also be showing you everything that I harvest and how I either cook with it or preserve it. That's going to be it for this week's video. If you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, don't be afraid to comment them down below. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on the next one.